Good morning, beloveds. Um, I tell you that what's going on in your life is going to influence the way you do sacred readings. What is going on in my life influences the way I do these readings. And it's something I want you to be aware of. And the reason for my saying this today is because I cannot begin to tell you who this woman was to me. Suffice to say that early in our relationship, she took one look at me and she said, "You are my daughter, my spiritual daughter." And our relationship proceeded from that. And it was one of those where one of the greatest things that she ever said to me was, "I want to know this teaching in my bones." And it is a lesson that I will carry with me always. So at 1:55 this morning, Ruth became the angel she always was. And that's where I'm at. So I'm still going to do this. It's just going to be messy. And here we are. So, December 29th, our title is Time. Our first quote is, well, provided I can see it. Anybody who tells you crying is a weakness is wrong. Being willing to cry in public is definitely a strength. So, okay. Behold, now is the accepted time. Behold, now is the day of salvation. And that is 2 Corinthians 6:2. Time, space, and obstructions are unknown in mind and thought. And that is Science of Mind, page 352. What are you going to make of this moment, of this day, of the future? What are you going to make of them? What you make of them depends on your own thought and action. How do you look at life? What are you going to make of your future? You can make of it just about what you wish. You are presented the time to achieve the good you desire, to be the success you desire to be. We cannot allow ourselves to become impatient with mind the moment we do not see the results we desire in our lives. Patience is the virtue which releases the element of enough time into our lives. Creative ability never diminishes or stagnates. Although our creativity may seem to wane because of our failure to exercise it, the secret to a fulfilled life is to do what you can today and do it well, knowing that tomorrow another opportunity will arise to complete today's creation or to begin a new one. God has granted us the patience and persistence to enjoy life if we will but employ them. Now is the time for me to accomplish my good and achieve my joys. As I recognize the divine concept of time, the key to a new and greater life expression is revealed to me. No longer do I look only at the future, overlooking the good which God intends that I should enjoy now. Into the divine activity of this present moment, I consign my desires and my needs. Right now, I commit myself to God's law and know that I have invested within me the patience and persistence necessary for all the manifest of my good. And it is W.M., which I believe is William Miller. I didn't double check it, but here we are. And what I'm immediately reminded of is I heard a new definition of patience. And the definition of patience is what happens while you are waiting for other things. That is a definition of patience that I can get behind. if you look at my Facebook says patience is a virtue. It's not one of mine. I am not the most patient person. I can actually be very, very impatient. But when I heard that definition, patience is what you do while you're waiting for other things to happen. That made sense to me, and I can get on board with that. It's like, okay, I have set these in motions. I have released my treatment, whatever it is. I have set everything in motion, and now I get to wait until whatever it is that happens to me. And so what am I going to do with myself? That's where patience comes in. Okay, I've set everything in motion. And so now I'm going to go do other things, because there are always other things that need to be done. I can go read a good book. I can go listen to good music. I can go watch a movie. I can go and start something else. Because me starting something else does not take any progress away from whatever else that I'm waiting on. Standing around twiddling my thumbs does nothing for me. It, in fact, drives me bananas. And so I'm one of those people that I like to keep my hands busy. And so that is how I have built my life. I buy purses just with the express of fitting a book in there. You know, that's how I buy a purse. So I have learned to manage that. But there's also that part of, you know, the sacred silence and the, you know, sometimes just being willing to wait. So time is what you make of it. We only have so much time here. And the other thing is all we have is now. So do all the things. Do all the things. And take in that idea of patience. It's like when you are waiting on something, don't be afraid to start something new. Start something else. Pick something else back up. It is not necessarily a distraction from what you're working on. It is you getting on with your life. He just went all kinds of places with his reading. But I was leaning into, we cannot allow ourselves to become impatient with mind the moment we do not see the results we desire in our lives. Patience is the virtue which releases the element of enough time into our lives. And that's what I'm talking about. Patience is what we do while we're waiting on things to happen. And it is truly not about distracting ourselves. When we go and do other work while we are waiting on something, that is where patience can become the absolute virtue that we didn't think we had. I'm not going to give you a mission about patience. I'm not that kind. But when you get down into his treatment, there were a couple of really good lines in here. One of them being, no longer do I look only to the future, overlooking the good which God intends for me to enjoy now. All right? Sometimes we get so busy living in the future, we forget to live now. And all we have is now. The future is going to take care of itself. So let's live now. Let's do what we do now. Let's make the most of the time that we have. The mission today, should we choose to accept it, is to let the future worry about itself and to enjoy the good that's in our lives now. All right. The tears are about to start rolling, so I'm going to kind of move my way through this. That's the mission today. Enjoy the good now. And then I'm going to remind you of the spiritual practice of doing something loving for yourself, doing something kind for yourself, doing something compassionate for yourself, whatever that looks like. And today, what that might look like is I might just burst into tears randomly. And that's, that's okay. Like I said, it takes a strong person to cry in public. So there we are. Be gentle with yourself today, whatever it is that you're doing. And be gentle with the other people around you. My goal today is not to bleed all over everybody. And we'll see how successful I am at that. And so that does look like taking a deep breath. That does look like taking the time for yourself. That does
Surprise.
look like, I'm losing the thread. Spiritual practice. It is about self-care. It is about taking care of yourself. It is about, you can't pour from an empty cup. But it's also about making room for joy. Okay? Which today is, I'm not going to be sad that she is gone. I'm going to be joyful of the time that I had with her. Practice on yourself. Self-care. Be loving, kind, compassion. You deserve it. Okay. There are all the other things. If you've watched any of these, you know what they are. I do encourage you to do something to engage your mind and your body today. I do encourage you to drink plenty of water today. Hydration is super important, especially when it's going to be leaking out of your face all day.
Surprise.
I do encourage you to get early in your day bright light. I got to see a little bit of sun this morning because it's going to be stormy this afternoon. And I do encourage you to open the windows of your soul. Allow that breath of heaven to remind you, you do live in heaven right here, right now. Which is really hard for me to say today. But that superpower is because it is a state of mind. It is a state of consciousness. Ernest Holmes' words, all right? That's why I call it our superpower. Because we can create heaven right here, right now by knowing who we are. And remembering who we hold in our heart. And by taking him as advice and looking for the good and praising it. Okay, social media part. We are Creative Life Spiritual Center. We are Creative Life Spark. I am the Reading Rev Ryan on the social medias that I am on. If you want to know what's going on with the center, including, now there's not going to be anything probably for, give us a week about the celebration of life for Ruth. Email info@creativelife.org. That'll get you on the constant contact. Trust me, the memorandum will be in there. All the information will be in there. The hot links are hot. They will either get you to the information you want and, or to the person that will get you the information. Oh my gosh. And here's where I get to take a deep breath and tell you to have the day that you're gonna have. I know, I say, have a great day, an amazing day, a wondrous day, a fantastic day, a magical day, an enchanting day. Have the day that you're going to have. And know that it's okay, all right? Because at the end of this, I always say, have a good day. And if that is too much pressure, simply have a day because you are enough just as you are. And so that's the kind of day that we are going to have. If you have any of the other kind of days, that's great. And I'm happy for you. It is going to be a day. You are a beloved child of God in whom God is well pleased, always and forever. You are a brilliant light. You are a divine spark. You are spirit in motion. You are God in action. You are a godling. Please remember who you are and hug each other a little more tightly today. So, okay. My voice. Sorry about all the strong motions. Reverend David should be on around 5 p.m. with you. I'm not going to promise he's not going to be any more of a mess than I am. I will be back with you at 9 a.m. tomorrow. Take care of yourself. Know that you are loved. And I will see you next time.